You are living within the greatest paradox of human existence. Right now, in this very moment, as chaos swirls around you and uncertainty feels like your only constant, you've been told to understand it all, to control it, to fix what seems broken. But here's the crucial piece of information no one ever seems to mention. Everything occurring right now, every single challenge, disruption and moment that feels like it's unraveling, isn't random. It's not punishment. It's not proof you're doing something wrong. It's intelligent design. It's the universe actively reorganizing itself around the vibrational frequency of the person you are becoming. Many individuals spend their entire lives in opposition to reality, pushing against what currently exists, desperately clinging to the past or yearning for an uncertain future. They fail to grasp a profound truth readily available. You are safe, even when nothing feels safe. Reality unfolds precisely as intended, even amidst apparent chaos. The reason most people never recognize this isn't a lack of intelligence or spiritual awareness. Rather, they've been conditioned to perceive disruption as deviation, failing to see it as the guiding direction it truly is. Let that thought settle for a moment. What if everything you've labeled as wrong, as off course, as evidence of life's failure? What if all of it is actually the universe's method of guiding you towards your precise frequency, your exact timeline, the precise version of yourself you were meant to embody? This isn't wishful thinking or spiritual bypassing. This is the convergence of quantum mechanics and consciousness. This is the fundamental way reality operates. When you understand your intrinsic connection to the field of intelligence governing all existence, you realize you are that field experiencing itself through you. But this is where it becomes truly fascinating. The moment you begin to perceive disruption as direction, a profound shift occurs within your nervous system. Your body ceases production of the stress hormones that trap you in survival mode. Your brain waves transition from the chaotic beta patterns associated with anxiety and resistance to the coherent alpha and theta frequencies where insights, creativity, and quantum possibilities become readily accessible. You quite literally begin to resonate at the frequency of trust instead of trauma. And when you vibrate at the frequency of trust, you start to perceive the inherent intelligence that has always been orchestrating everything with such elegant precision and perfect timing that it leaves you breathless. Consider the last time something significant fell apart in your life. A relationship, a job, a meticulously planned endeavor that seemed guaranteed to succeed. In that moment of disruption, you experienced chaos. However, with sufficient distance, can you now see how that apparent ending was in fact a beginning? How that loss created the space for something even better to emerge? How that disruption redirected you onto a path you would never have chosen, yet led you exactly where you needed to be? This was no coincidence. This was the field of infinite intelligence at work. Call it the universe consciousness or the quantum field. It was responding to the frequency of your deeper truth, the version of yourself you were ready to become, but couldn't access while clinging to what you believed you needed to remain the same. This is the aspect most people miss. Reality doesn't happen to you. Reality happens through you. You are not a victim of circumstance. You are the field of consciousness through which circumstances arise to facilitate your highest evolution. Every challenge, every disruption, every moment of uncertainty is the universe's way of helping you shed layers of conditioning, fear, and limitations that have been holding you back. But here lies the paradox. You can only perceive this intelligence when you cease attempting to control it. You can only experience the inherent safety of this unfolding when you stop demanding it conform to your preconceived notions. You can only align with the perfection of this process by surrendering to the possibility that your limited human perspective cannot possibly comprehend the vast orchestration unfolding. Let me clarify what's truly happening beneath the surface of any chaos you might be experiencing. Your consciousness is undergoing a fundamental recalibration. The frequency you've been operating from, the beliefs, patterns, and behaviors that brought you to this point, are being disrupted because they are no longer aligned with the person you are evolving into. The universe isn't punishing you for holding on to these old patterns, it's upgrading your operating system. And that upgrade necessitates dismantling structures incapable of sustaining the new frequency. This process isn't comfortable. It's not meant to be. Comfort maintains you within familiar yet limiting patterns. Disruption forces you to uncover capabilities, wisdom, and strength you never knew you possessed. Each time reality asks you to relinquish something you thought you needed, it's actually revealing something you never knew you had. Consider this analogy. Imagine a butterfly emerging from its chrysalis. From within that chrysalis, the dissolution feels like death. The caterpillar's entire reality is literally breaking down at a cellular level. If that caterpillar possessed the capacity for thought, it would believe something terrible was happening. It would resist the process, attempt to cling to its caterpillar identity, and panic at the loss of familiarity. But what's actually transpiring is metamorphosis. The apparent destruction is, in fact, creation at its most profound level. The caterpillar isn't dying. It's being reorganized into something far more magnificent than it could have ever imagined from its limited perspective. You are currently undergoing your own metamorphosis. The disruption you're experiencing isn't evidence of something being wrong. It's evidence that something is finally going right. The universe is actively supporting your transformation by dissolving structures that have kept you trapped in a smaller version of yourself. But here's the game changer. The moment you align with this process instead of resisting it, you begin to experience what mystics have always known, that beneath the apparent chaos of transformation lies an intelligence so vast, so benevolent, so precisely orchestrated, it can only be described as love in action. When you cease fighting what is and begin trusting what is becoming, you discover you've never been unsafe, alone, or abandoned by the universe. You've been held, guided, and supported every step of the way by a field of consciousness that knows you better than you know yourself, and loves you more deeply than you've ever learned to love yourself. This isn't abstract philosophy. It's practical quantum physics. In quantum mechanics, we understand that the observer influences the observed. Your consciousness, your attention, your beliefs, your emotional state literally shape the reality you experience. When you view your current circumstances through the lens of trust, understanding that everything unfolds for your highest good, you collapse the wave function of infinite possibilities into the timeline where that truth becomes experientially real. Conversely, when you observe your circumstances through fear, believing something has gone wrong, that you're unsafe, and that the universe is chaotic and random, you collapse those same infinite possibilities into a timeline where that fear becomes your lived reality. The universe isn't acting upon you, it's responding to the frequency you're broadcasting. And right now, in this moment of apparent chaos, you have the opportunity to broadcast a frequency most humans never discover. The frequency of trust amidst uncertainty, faith amidst apparent disorder, and love amidst what appears to be loss. This is where true transformation occurs, not when everything is perfect and under control, but when everything is uncertain and you choose to trust anyway, not when you can see the plan, but when you can't, and you surrender to the possibility of a far vaster intelligence at work than your human mind can comprehend. Let me share a concept that could fundamentally alter your perspective: spontaneous coherence. This concept, from quantum field theory, describes how seemingly random particles suddenly organize themselves into coherent patterns without any external directing force. They align with an underlying field of intelligence that generates order from apparent chaos. This is precisely what's happening in your life right now. The apparent randomness, the disruption, the uncertainty, all of it is spontaneously organizing itself into a coherence that serves your highest evolution. You may not yet see the pattern because you are too close to it, like trying to discern a tapestry from a single thread's perspective. But a pattern exists. Intelligence is at play. Perfect timing is inherent. And here's the most profound aspect. The moment you begin to trust this process, the moment you align with the intelligence orchestrating your transformation instead of resisting it, miracles begin to unfold. Synchronicities multiply, doors open, people appear, opportunities emerge, solutions arise. This isn't because the universe suddenly decides to assist you, it's because you finally cease blocking the assistance that has always been present. Pause. Breathe this in. Feel it in your body. You are not separate from the intelligence that governs planetary motion, orchestrates the seasons, cultivates flowers from seeds, and transforms caterpillars into butterflies. You are that intelligence expressing itself as the unique configuration of consciousness that is you. So when chaos arises in your life, when disruption feels overwhelming, when nothing seems to make sense from your limited perspective, that's not evidence you're off track. That's evidence you're being reorganized by a love so intelligent, so precisely calibrated to your highest good, that it can afford to disrupt your comfort zones because it knows something you don't yet know. The person you are becoming is far more magnificent than the person you have been. This is why you are safe, even when nothing feels safe. This is why reality unfolds as planned, even when it appears to be pure chaos. The plan isn't your plan. It's a plan so vast, so intelligent, so perfectly orchestrated that your human mind could never have conceived it. But your heart knows. Your soul recognizes it. Your deepest wisdom remembers that you chose this. You chose this life, this timing, this precise configuration of challenges and opportunities because it represents the perfect curriculum for your consciousness to remember what it truly is. Now, I want you to take a moment and comment below with this phrase, "I trust the intelligence that's reorganizing my reality." Don't just type it casually. Feel it as you write it. Let it be an energetic declaration to the quantum field, a conscious interruption of the loop of fear and resistance that traps so many in suffering. When you declare your trust amidst uncertainty, you signal to the universe that you're ready to collaborate with its intelligence instead of opposing it. This isn't merely a comment, it's an activation, your conscious choice to align with the frequency of trust, to embrace the understanding that everything happening now serves your highest evolution, even when you can't perceive how. Because here's what happens when enough people embody this truth. We create a field of coherence that makes this understanding more accessible to everyone. Your individual transformation contributes to the collective awakening occurring on this planet. The more people who recognize the intelligence behind apparent chaos, the more the world reflects that intelligence back to all of us. But let's delve even deeper. There's another layer most people never uncover because they stop at the surface level of positive thinking or spiritual cliches. What we're truly discussing is the recognition that you are not who you thought you were. The version of yourself being disrupted, the identity feeling threatened by change. That's not your true self. That's a collection of beliefs, patterns, and protective mechanisms you developed to navigate a world that felt unsafe, unpredictable, and separate from your true nature. Your true self, the consciousness aware of thoughts but not the thoughts themselves, the witness of emotions but not the emotions, the observer of experiences but not limited by any single experience, that self is not merely safe, it's invulnerable. It cannot be threatened by external circumstances because it exists as the field of awareness itself. When disruption occurs in your life, it's not happening to your true self. It's happening to the false identities, the limiting beliefs, the protective patterns obscuring your true self. The universe isn't trying to destroy you, it's trying to reveal you. It's dissolving everything that is unto you so that what is you can finally emerge and be expressed. This is why resistance to change feels so painful. You're not just resisting the loss of external circumstances. You're resisting the death of illusions you mistook for your identity. You're grieving the loss of limitations that felt safe because they were familiar. But here lies the miracle. On the other side of that resistance, on the other side of that letting go, you discover you are far vaster, more resilient, more creative, intelligent, and loving than any of those smaller identities ever allowed you to experience. The disruption you're experiencing is an invitation to discover who you truly are beneath all the stories, fears, and patterns that kept you playing small. It's an invitation to step into your true power, not power over others or circumstances, but the power derived from knowing yourself as the consciousness through which all experiences arise. This is practical mysticism. It's science meeting spirit. It's the recognition that you are not separate from the intelligence governing all existence. You are that intelligence experiencing itself through the unique lens of your individual awareness. And when you begin to live from that recognition, When you trust the process of your own transformation instead of fighting it, you discover what the great masters have always known. You are already whole, complete, and perfect exactly as you are. And you are also in a constant state of becoming something even more magnificent. The chaos in your life right now isn't chaos. It's intelligence, love. It's the universe's way of helping you shed everything that's been holding you back so that the vastness of who you truly are can finally be expressed through your human experience. And here's something that will completely shift your understanding of what's happening. The intensity of your experience isn't proportional to how off track you are. It's proportional to the significance of your mission. The souls who came here to contribute most to this planetary awakening, who volunteered to anchor the highest frequencies of consciousness into this dimension, are often the ones experiencing the most intense transformation processes. This is because higher frequencies require more sophisticated processing systems. If you're here to embody and transmit very high levels of consciousness, your entire human system, nervous system, emotional body, mental patterns, energy field, all of it needs recalibration to handle those frequencies without burnout or distortion. Think of it like upgrading a house's electrical wiring. To run more powerful appliances, you need wiring that can handle higher voltage. The old wiring that worked fine for basic needs becomes inadequate and potentially dangerous when you try to run more sophisticated equipment through it. Your consciousness is being rewired right now to handle frequencies of love, wisdom, creativity, and power that would have overwhelmed your old operating system. The disruption you're experiencing is the rewiring process. It's not comfortable, but it's absolutely necessary if you're going to fulfill the purpose you came here to fulfill. And here's what most people don't realize. This rewiring isn't just happening at the individual level. Collective consciousness itself is being upgraded. The old paradigm of human civilization, based on separation, competition, domination, and exploitation, is becoming uninhabitable for souls who have evolved beyond those frequencies. This is why so many systems seem to be breaking down simultaneously right now. It's not because something's gone wrong with the world. It's because consciousness is evolving beyond structures that could only exist in the old paradigm. The breakdown is actually a breakthrough. The collapse is actually an emergence. You are living through the most extraordinary time in human history, the transition between two completely different levels of civilization, and the intensity of your personal transformation is directly related to your role in anchoring the new paradigm into physical reality. This is why you can't approach your current circumstances with the old mindset of problem solving and control. You're not dealing with problems to be solved. You're dealing with evolution to be embraced. You're not managing a crisis. You're midwifing a birth. And birth is intense. Birth is disorienting. Birth involves letting go of the safe, contained environment you've been growing in and trusting that something magnificent awaits on the other side of that letting go. The womb of your old identity, your old reality, your old way of being in the world, it's become too small for who you're becoming. Remaining in it would stunt your growth, limit your potential, and betray the very intelligence trying to expand through you. What I've shared today only scratches the surface of how consciousness operates as a broadcasting system, how you constantly transmit frequencies that the quantum field receives and reflects back as your reality. If you feel called to understand the complete framework of becoming a conscious broadcaster, rather than an unconscious transmitter trapped in what I call survival static, I've written a comprehensive guide, Beyond the Frequencies, a quantum guide to consciousness mastery, detailing the 9 master frequencies and step-by-step practices for transitioning from seeking to being, from manifestation to embodiment. It's linked in the pinned comment below. So, the universe, in its infinite compassion, is creating circumstances that make staying small impossible. It loves you too much to let you remain trapped in limitations that no longer serve your highest good or the highest good of all existence. This is the ultimate context for understanding everything happening in your life right now. You're not being punished, tested, or abandoned. You're being loved so completely, so intelligently, so powerfully that the universe is willing to disrupt your comfort zones because it knows those comfort zones have become your cage. The love orchestrating your transformation isn't sentimental human love, it's cosmic love, evolutionary love. The kind of love that created stars and galaxies, the intricate intelligence of DNA, and the miracle of consciousness itself. This love knows you better than you know yourself, and it will never give up on helping you become the fullest expression of your divine potential. But here's the beautiful paradox. The moment you align with this love, the moment you trust this process, the moment you surrender to this intelligence instead of fighting it, the transformation becomes not just bearable, but magical. The pressure becomes pleasurable. The uncertainty becomes exciting. The letting go becomes liberation. When you stop resisting the current and start swimming with it, you discover the river of transformation isn't trying to drown you. It's trying to carry you to destinations more beautiful than anything you could have imagined from where you started. This shift in perspective, from victim of circumstances to collaborator with evolution, is the key that unlocks everything. It's the difference between suffering through transformation and dancing with it, between being broken down by pressure and being refined by it, between feeling abandoned by the universe and feeling held by it. And the most beautiful part is that this shift in perspective is always available to you, regardless of your external circumstances. You don't have to wait for things to get easier to access this understanding. You don't have to wait for clarity to trust the process. You don't have to wait for evidence to know you're safe. The evidence is already present in the fact that you're conscious, aware, capable of questioning your circumstances and seeking deeper understanding. The evidence lies in the intelligence beating your heart, breathing your lungs, growing your hair, healing your cuts, and dreaming your dreams without any conscious effort from you. You're already being held by an intelligence so vast, so sophisticated, so perfectly orchestrated, that it can coordinate the movement of trillions of cells in your body while simultaneously orchestrating the dance of planets, stars, and galaxies across the cosmos. This intelligence is not separate from you. It is you, expressing itself as the temporary focal point of awareness you call your individual identity. When you recognize this, when you feel this, when you embody this understanding, then every challenge becomes an opportunity. Every disruption becomes guidance. Every moment of uncertainty becomes a portal into deeper trust and greater wisdom. This is the level of consciousness trying to emerge through your human experience. This is the frequency calling you forward through the apparent chaos of your current circumstances. This is the truth, using every challenging situation to help you remember who you really are beneath all the stories of limitation and separation. Now let me share something that will completely revolutionize how you understand the mechanics of reality creation and why your current circumstances are not just perfect. They're precisely calibrated to your soul's highest evolutionary trajectory. There's a phenomenon in quantum physics called quantum entanglement, where two particles become so interconnected that changing the state of one instantly affects the other, regardless of the distance separating them. Einstein called this spooky action at a distance, because it seemed to violate everything we thought we knew about how reality works. But what quantum entanglement reveals is that at the deepest level of existence, everything is connected through an invisible field of intelligence that transcends space and time. And this field isn't just connecting particles, it's connecting every aspect of your experience, every person in your life, every circumstance you encounter, every opportunity that appears, and every door that closes. Your current reality isn't a collection of random events happening to an isolated individual. Your current reality is a holographic projection of your consciousness, where every element is quantum entangled with every other element, all orchestrated by the field of infinite intelligence to create the perfect curriculum for your awakening. This means the person who challenged you at work isn't separate from your journey. They're quantum entangled with your growth process, showing up at precisely the right moment to trigger the exact healing you need. The relationship that ended isn't disconnected from your evolution. It's quantum entangled with your expansion, creating the precise space needed for a new level of love to emerge. The opportunity that disappeared isn't evidence of bad luck. It's quantum entangled with your transformation, redirecting you toward possibilities more aligned with who you're becoming. Every single element of your current experience is in perfect quantum coordination with every other element, all responding to the deepest intentions of your soul and the evolutionary impulse of consciousness itself. But here's where it gets even more profound. You're not just passively experiencing this quantum entanglement, you're actively participating in it. Your consciousness, your attention, your emotional state, your beliefs about what's possible, all of this constantly influences the quantum field and determines which potentials collapse into your actual reality. This experience underscores why ancient masters emphasized that external transformation necessitates internal transformation first. They understood that altering the holographic projection isn't possible without modifying the consciousness projecting it. Shifting your inner frequency from fear to trust, from resistance to surrender, from separation to unity, elicits a response from the quantum field, reorganizing itself around this new vibrational state. Previously immutable circumstances suddenly become flexible and adaptable. Unexpected opportunities materialize, previously unknown pathways open, and individuals perfectly aligned with your elevated vibrational frequency appear in your life. This isn't mystical thinking. It's the application of quantum mechanics to consciousness, how reality fundamentally operates. Understanding your interconnectedness with the intelligent field generating all realities reveals you as a unique expression of that field, focused through the lens of your individual awareness. In this seemingly chaotic and uncertain moment, you possess access to this creative power unlike ever before. The current disruptions have created what I term quantum windows, moments where established patterns destabilize, accelerating the emergence of new possibilities. These quantum windows are exceptionally rare and valuable. They manifest during significant life transitions, periods of intense spiritual growth, or moments of dissolution of the old self prior to the solidification of a new identity. They provide opportunities for quantum leaps in personal evolution, dramatic transformations occurring within moments rather than gradual shifts over years. The crucial element lies in understanding these quantum windows and how to effectively utilize them. Approaching them with a controlling mindset, attempting to fix problems or control outcomes, completely negates their potential. Similarly, collapsing into a victim mentality, perceiving the disruption as something happening to you rather than for you, causes the window to close. Quantum windows only open for consciousness prepared to operate at a higher level, consciousness that trusts the process even without a clear destination. It's consciousness ready to relinquish the past to create space for future possibilities. Consciousness recognizing itself as the creative source, not a passive recipient of circumstances. The intensity, disorientation, and unprecedented nature of your current experiences are not simply normal life changes. You are navigating a quantum window. You are presented with the opportunity to fundamentally shift your consciousness, your relationship with reality, and your perception of life's possibilities. What makes this even more remarkable is its collective nature. Humanity is collectively experiencing the largest quantum window in its history. The old paradigm of consciousness is disintegrating, giving way to a new paradigm. Your individual transformation is an integral component of this broader evolutionary process. The skills you're developing, trusting uncertainty, finding inner stability independent of external conditions, discerning intelligence within apparent chaos, and self-love throughout profound change, aren't merely personal skills. They're essential for humanity's successful navigation of this evolutionary transition. You're not simply healing yourself, you're cultivating capacities that will contribute to global healing. You're not just transforming your life, you're pioneering ways of being that will become accessible to all of humanity. You're not merely surviving challenges, you're actively evolving consciousness itself. This provides the ultimate context for understanding your current life experiences. These aren't random difficulties to endure. They are the birth pangs of a new level of human consciousness, with you acting as both the mother and the child in this birthing process. The intensity isn't punishment, it's preparation. Uncertainty isn't a sign of being lost, it's a sign of being found by forces far exceeding your individual personality, forces your old identity simply can't comprehend. The disruption isn't chaos, it's the reorganization of matter and energy, around a new gravitational center, a new level of coherence, a new frequency of love. Most beautifully, you don't need to figure out how to orchestrate this transformation. You don't have to strategize your way through the quantum window or manage your own evolution. Simply surrender to the intelligence already orchestrating everything with unparalleled precision and benevolence, exceeding your wildest imagination. This intelligence understands precisely what you need and when. It knows which experiences will open your heart, which challenges will bolster your trust, which losses will reveal your true abundance, and which uncertainties will guide you towards your deepest knowing. It has prepared this moment your entire life, meticulously weaving together every experience into a complex, purposeful tapestry designed for your highest evolution. Upon seeing the complete pattern, you'll be overwhelmed with gratitude for every single thread, even those initially perceived as dark or painful. You are living within a masterpiece of consciousness, a sophisticated artwork where each brushstroke, every experience, emotion, challenge, and breakthrough contributes to an overall beauty impossible without the precise placement of each element. Trust this. Trust the artist, the canvas, the brush, and the colors, even when they seem too vibrant, dark, or bold. Trust the process, especially when the current brushstroke's place within the larger composition remains unclear. You are safe within this intelligence, held by its love and guided by its wisdom. Everything happening in your life presently serves your highest good. If this resonates with you, if these words awaken a recognition that feels both new and ancient, then I invite you to subscribe, not just to this channel, but to this frequency. Subscribe to the space where consciousness intersects with science, where ancient wisdom meets quantum possibilities, and where your individual transformation contributes to the healing and awakening of our world. Because we're discussing more than just your personal journey, we're talking about the collective evolution of human consciousness itself. We are living through the most extraordinary period in human history. The old paradigms of fear, separation, and scarcity are collapsing, not because something went wrong, but because humanity is ready for its next evolutionary stage. You, yes you, are part of that evolution. The challenges you face, the growth you experience, and the transformation you undergo all contribute to a shift far exceeding your individual narrative. You are both a beneficiary and a contributor to this collective awakening. Each time you choose trust over fear, love over resistance, and recognize the intelligence within apparent chaos, you're not only transforming your life, but also amplifying the frequency of awakening spreading across our planet. This is sacred work, not selfish work. It is the work of consciousness, knowing itself more fully through your individual experience, and then expressing that knowing in ways that benefit all of existence. When you examine your life, the disruptions, uncertainties, and challenges, attempt to view it through a new lens. Recognize the intelligence orchestrating this transformation, and feel the love supporting your evolution. Even when it seems unloving from your limited perspective, you are being held guided and supported by a field of consciousness so vast, intelligent and benevolent that it can coordinate galactic movements and the timing of your next insight with equal precision. The question isn't whether you are safe. You always are, at the deepest level of your being. It's whether you're willing to trust that safety, even when external circumstances don't yet reflect it. The question is whether you're ready to align with the intelligence reorganizing your reality instead of resisting it. This isn't passive resignation or spiritual bypassing, it's active surrender. Recognizing that your true power stems not from controlling circumstances, but from aligning with the consciousness creating them. When you live from this understanding, embody this trust and allow yourself to be guided by an intelligence knowing you better than you know yourself. Miracles become your norm, synchronicity becomes your everyday reality, and you discover you were never separate from the source of all creation. You are that source, expressing itself as you. Breathe into this understanding, allowing it to settle into your cells, your nervous system, and the very fabric of your being. You are safe. Reality is unfolding as planned. Everything happening now is purposeful, and that purpose is love. Now, as you step into this new understanding of your role as consciousness, a crucial aspect involves how you embody this awareness moment to moment. The observer effect goes deeper than most realize. Your attention, breath, and presence become the tools for collapsing infinite possibilities into your desired reality. Therefore, I encourage you to practice the observer breath, a breathing technique to become what you desire. This activates your observer consciousness, aligning your nervous system with the frequency of what you are calling into being. This isn't sentimental love, it's intelligent love. Love understanding that growth sometimes necessitates disruption, that breakthroughs often require breakdowns, and that trusts your strength even when you doubt it yourself. This love has orchestrated your entire journey, every joy, challenge, loss, and discovery. It has never abandoned you, never left you alone, and never stopped believing in your capacity to transform, evolve, and become the fullest expression of your divine potential. Currently, it invites you to recognize that potential not as a future achievement, but as something you can embody right here, right now, amidst any chaos. You don't have to wait for circumstances to change to access your true power, for clarity to trust the process, or for safety to know you are safe. The invitation is present. Step into recognizing who you truly are, aligning with the intelligence guiding your transformation, and trust the process even without seeing where it leads. This isn't mere information, it's initiation. It's not just understanding, it's embodiment. It's your opportunity to shift from someone to whom life happens to someone through whom life happens. Every disruption becomes guidance, every challenge an opportunity for expansion, and every uncertain moment a doorway to deeper trust, greater wisdom, and more profound love. This is possible when you cease fighting reality and begin dancing with it, recognizing your non-separation from the intelligence governing all existence. You are that intelligence experiencing itself as you. As we conclude this exploration, I offer a practical tool to carry into every moment of apparent chaos and disruption. Whenever your mind suggests something has gone wrong, remember this. You are not your circumstances. You are the consciousness experiencing them. You are not your challenges. You are the awareness witnessing and transforming them into wisdom. You are not your story. You are the storyteller, with the power to craft a new narrative anytime you choose. The story I invite you to tell is, I am safe, I am guided, I am supported by an intelligence loving me beyond my comprehension. Everything in my life serves my highest evolution, even when I can't see how. I trust this process, I align with this intelligence, I surrender to this love. This isn't self-deception, it's the recognition of what has always been true. Remembering your true identity as consciousness itself, expressing and experiencing itself through your beautiful, temporary, sacred human form. Finally, take a moment and comment with one word, capturing the energy, intention, or transformation you're choosing as you move forward from this understanding. Let this word be your energetic signature to the quantum field, your declaration of who you are becoming, your commitment to embodying this truth. Whether it's trust, surrender, love, expansion, courage, or another word from your deepest knowing, let it be your anchor, reminder, and portal back to this understanding. Whenever the illusion of chaos threatens your sense of safety, and if this exploration has touched you, awakening something ancient and new, subscribe, not just to stay connected, but to maintain coherence with this frequency of understanding. Join this community of consciousness, recognizing the intelligence in apparent chaos, trusting the transformation process, and knowing we are all part of something far greater than our individual narratives. The more of us who embody this truth, the more the world reflects that truth back. The more of us who trust our own evolutionary process, the easier it becomes for everyone to recognize that same process in their own lives. You are not alone in this transformation. You are part of a collective awakening across our planet. Your willingness to trust the process, see intelligence in apparent chaos, and recognize the orchestrating love isn't just healing your life, it's healing the world. This is who you are, why you're here, and what's happening beneath the surface of any disruption you're experiencing. Trust it, embrace it, and let it transform you. You are safe. Reality is unfolding as planned. Everything happening right now is for a reason, and that reason is love.